going on?
What's happening, everybody?
Shit, chilling.
Nicole, what's going on with you?
Chilling like a villain.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
That's fitting.
How was your week, Nicole? How work going?
So this week, work has been okay. You know, I guess last week God was showing me you're gonna have some trials because I was really rethinking my life last week. Like, what am I doing? I was really like, this is just not it. If I was in a position to just quit and be like, okay, this ain't it, and just quit and like have money where I can take my time and look for something else or do whatever, I would have quit last week. But this week, so far, thank you, God, knock on wood, it's been okay. And I also was put in touch with this band, right? And I'm not gonna put my business out there. I think I told y'all. I might have told you. I'm not really sure. But
Oh yeah, you told us.
Okay. And they were paying really, really well. So I went Saturday because they had a gig Saturday, some kind of fundraiser. It was some kind of ball. So, and I'm like, yeah, this is why y'all charge this much, because it's, rich people and balls and charities and stuff. But the band was like so good. Oh my God, the band was so good. Of course, they asked me to sing because at first I was like, they was like, just come out, meet the band so you could see how they do stuff. Because mind you, they never asked me to sing. I'm thinking they're going to be like, you have anything? Send me something like everybody do. They didn't. They was just like, okay, cool. Here's the music. This is what we do. Send us some songs you do. Boom. These are some dates we need you for. And I'm like, y'all don't even know if I can sing. But okay. So I came out and my daddy was like, oh, you singing? I said, no, I'm just going to meet them. And he like, be prepared to sing. And of course, they asked me to sing. So I sang a song and it was good because it's all men, right? It's all men. And so when I got up there, it was like people was looking for, waiting for me to sing. So the crowd was like really into it when I got up there. I sang twice. The second time was just a medley that they just happened to ask. Because I guess the girl they usually sing with them usually sing. It was just Billie Jean, right? And I used to sing that every weekend with Rudy and them. So when they were like, you know this? And the keyboard player, I'm like, yeah, I know this. So I just sang a little part of that. And the crowd was like, every time I got up there, they were kind of anticipating on waiting for me to sing and stuff. And, so it was a nice time, nice feeling. They liked me. And, they're like, welcome, called me. Hey, we doing this. So hopefully this can be I'm not sure how often they work. I know right now it's just one for each month, April, May, and then July, not for June. So I'm not sure if this is the only dates they need me for, or they were just trying to try me out, before they, you know what I'm saying? So, but I think it's great because it's corporate, so it pays well. So hopefully it can put me in a position to do what I want to do and not be miserable. Because the best thing about this job is getting off at 2:30.
Miserable, strong word.
Yes, this is not for me. I was just talking to Lisa because she working from home. And I'm like, but you're not in customer service. I said, you don't talk to people? She was like, no, I don't talk to nobody. Maybe colleagues. I'm like, well, what's your title? Maybe I need to search for a job with your title because that's what I need. I would be happy working from home, maybe doing data or some kind of something where I ain't got to interact with people. That's my problem. I don't like people that much to be talking to people all the time. That's miserable.
Ain't that what we do every week?
I'm talking to y'all. I love y'all.
Oh, okay.
But it ain't like a service. I'm working in technical support. So everybody that called me is mad.
Oh, yeah.
I had this. Let me tell y'all this story real quick, and then I'm gonna let y'all tell y'all week, and hopefully y'all got some better news. This woman lied on me. Lied. I wanted to call her back and be like, "You bitch." Excuse my French, everybody, but I'm like, "You bitch." Oh, I wanted to call her back. Now she calls me, right? I hear in the background this beeping. It sounds like a smoke detector need a battery. But the thing is, when you got one of our systems, if you got a smoke alarm or a carbon monoxide detector on your keypad, it'll say fault, whatever zone it is. So we'll know, oh, that needs a battery. It'll say it. But her keypad didn't have no fault. So I done reset it, rebooted it, put this code in and tell me what the keypad say. Oh, it says disarmed, ready to arm. That mean ain't nothing wrong with it. Are you sure that's one of our smoke alarms? Because you might have a smoke detector that was in, like I got smoke detectors that ain't from ADT. You know what I'm saying? So are you sure? Oh no, those were all disconnected and this is yours. All of this is y'all equipment. Okay, cool. I said the next thing we can do is send a tech out. But if a tech come out and it's not our equipment, you're gonna have to pay for them coming out and you're gonna have to pay for labor. Oh, well, let me get my ladder. Okay. She get a ladder, get up there. Because I'm like, it sounds like a battery. Oh, it's green now. Because ain't nothing wrong with it. So then I said, well, since you up there, tell me if that beeping, because I'm hearing the beeping. Is it coming from that one? It's not this one. So I'm looking. You only have 2 smoke alarms. That one and one downstairs. It's not coming from downstairs. It's either coming from this sunroom or some other room. I'm like, you only got window systems and sensors and motion detectors. Those don't beep. Your keypad will say a fault and you will not be able to arm your system unless you bypass those zones. So that ain't it, right? Well, when can the tech come out? This was Saturday. So I'm like, we could do a virtual tech because a virtual tech is free. Monday, she goes off. I got to listen to this beeping all weekend. I'm like, ma'am, the next tech is available Monday morning. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. The next tech is Monday morning. Let me speak to a manager. Hold on. So I put in an escalation. I did everything. Offered the tech. She don't want to wait for a tech. We troubleshoot, reboot. We did everything, right? She's like, okay, send her to me. She talked to the lady. Come back and tell me, Nicole. The lady she wanted a discount on her monthly bill. She didn't mention anything about a sensor. I'm like, I heard the beeping in the background. She said, yeah. She said she's not having an issue with her system. She just wanted a monthly discount on her bill. I'm like, I know you fucking lying.
Y'all calls not recorded for quality assurance?
It's recorded. I mean, I didn't, but I'm just saying you had me do all of that and you knew good and goddamn well that wasn't even our equipment.
Yeah.
And then gonna tell the manager, oh, I'm not having an issue with my system.
Because she wasn't having an issue with her system.
That's why I don't like dealing with people.
But you didn't get no trouble for it, right?
No, she just laughed. I said she probably realized while she was on hold waiting for you that wasn't our smoke alarm and didn't want to admit it.
Well, no harm, no foul. And now you ain't got to talk to him.
Child, I could go on for days, some of the people I get.
Jay, how was your week?
My week was good. My baby turned 2 last Friday. My wife had a birthday Monday. We had a good weekend.
Well, happy birthday, Tasha.
Yeah, we had a good weekend.
Did she get a real gift?
Yes, she did.
Not.
Nah, she got a real gift.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, not the D.
Not the D. Make sure he ain't going there, you know what I'm saying, in his birthday suit. Happy birthday.
She got a gift. She got a gift. She got 2 gifts.
I talked to my buddy about the cupcake too. She said that it is buttercream on them, so if the lid wasn't closed all the way to it would get hard with the air. So I don't know.
They was close.
I'm just saying.
They was good, but
he like, nah, they was old. You just had that lid down.
I mean, okay, I'll take it.
I'm,
I'm not whatever Nicole say. I'm not going back and forth like that. I'm gonna do whatever.
Two places I'm not going with you today, Nicole. That's back
back
and
and
forth.
forth. Two places I'm not going with you today. Back and forth.
Oh, I'm gonna crack you.
No, not
Oh,
today.
okay.
Not today.
All right. Well, yeah. My week was eventful. I guess if we start from the last show, we got off that show. I had like another hour, 2 hour conversation after that about the Bible. You know what I'm saying? The conversation that we were not supposed to have when we was getting off the air.
I specifically said don't do it. And what he do?
But we brought it up because Nicole kept asking, so we brought it up. Talked about.
She wasn't even part of that though.
Yeah,
And
I
I
don't even know what you're talking about.
You should put her in there.
Last week when you brought it, what's going on, Mike? Hey, Tasha, when you asked
Mike.
about what me and Lionel was arguing about, remember when I was talking about getting divorced, and if it's saying in the Bible you can get divorced for that conversation. So I had like a hour-long conversation about that after we
With
got out.
who?
Lionel and Little Neil.
Oh.
It wasn't even we texting back and forth for like an hour, like, and I don't even really text like that.
The shit was going on so bad. I mean, like it wasn't seconds between the responses.
And I'm engaged in it. I'm nope, boop, 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 no, nah. Nope, that ain't what we're saying. Nope, back and forth.
So nobody was able to explain it to you that made you understand where they're thinking.
This is the thing though. So me how I get. So after that conversation, so the next couple of days, I'm still thinking about, hey, Carletta, how you doing, darling? So I'm still thinking about it after that. So I'm asking people who I bump into. I'm like, okay, what is and I'm like, do you think a married person is able to fornicate? So it got to one of my buddies, and we started talking about it. We actually looked up the definition of fornication. Definition of fornication, you come to that, you can fornicate while you're married, because basically it says fornication is to have premarital or extramarital sex.
That's what I thought, but.
So if that's the definition.
Because that's what I said. I said, because in my head, fornicating means having sex with someone you're not married to. That's my definition in my head, right? If you have premarital sex, right? Yeah, I can be married, but I'm not married to you. So that means it's premarital.
So to me, I was drawing the line there. So fornication to me was before you got married, and once you got married, it became adultery. Under the definition, all of that falls under fornication. Yeah. Adultery falls under fornication.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's trying to say that's a Gentile definition. But guess what? The biblical definition of fornication is even more than that, because the biblical definition of fornication is not just about premarital or extramarital sex. It's also about like idolatry and a dozen other things that fall under fornication with the biblical definition. So it's even a wider variety of things that you can do that would fall under fornication when you go to the biblical definition. Only reason I ain't throw it back in the text message and finish that argument and start it up, because I was supposed to start that back up. I had other things happen, so I ain't had a chance to get back on that argument. So that's how my week was going, starting Wednesday. Weekend was kind of cool. Come Monday, I think I either tore or I strained a muscle in my left arm, so I ain't worked all week. Still waiting because I got an HMO instead of a PPO. So I got to wait for my primary to call me back to send me to the orthopedic surgeon to see if they need surgery, or so they can even do an MRI on my arm to do that. This morning I had to go to the dentist to get a tooth pulled, so I ain't been doing nothing at all for like the last couple of days. So today I've mostly just been sitting around like half asleep, just really waiting on the podcast to start. You know what I'm saying? Making sure I'm able to talk and popping ibuprofen every 4 hours just to make sure I don't have no pain from nothing. And that's really been my week. Right, with my left arm, I can use it now, limited. Like I can't really pull too much with it. Like if I pull or push right now with it, it'll sting after I do that work. But like Monday, I was out of there. I mean, I was jacked up. I couldn't close the car door. I couldn't lift my arm to touch my face like this. It wasn't happening. You know what I'm saying?
But you the boss, right? Huh? But you the boss, right? So you just delegate.
Nah, but that's people don't be wanting to work. So a lot of times that'll kill you on that. Now, when it comes down to fitness, the delegation is cool. I can get in the gym and still delegate because the people work for them. When it comes down to construction, nah. No, right now, how most of it is that ain't how it works. Right now, I'm small, real small, so people don't be wanting to work. Yeah, if the boss can't work, they ain't working until I let Jay take over. You know what I'm saying, and be in charge of them people. Then, you know, it's a different thing with that. So that's how my week has basically been.
Maybe I need to move back there and be in charge of that because they ain't gonna look at me and expect me to work, and I could just be a bitch.
I'm
They'll
gonna do
work,
it myself.
but
I'm
they
gonna do
still expect you to work. They ain't gonna be expecting me to work.
No, Nicole, is not nerve damage from having a tooth pulled. The arm happened before the tooth. Uh, the arm happened actually. My arm, I had, but this is the thing with my arm. I was having pain in my elbow for a couple months, but it was like just something nagging. So it wasn't like anything for me to really take notice of. Like I would sleep and wake up and my elbow would kind of be hurting or a little tender. And I would think it was just because I maybe slept on it wrong or something like that. And it wasn't nothing big. And then when we were working out on Monday, I went to press and we was bench pressing. I went to the press the first couple sets and I felt a little bit of pain. I'm like, man, my elbow hurt. I don't know what's going on, but I just put my brace on, tightened it up on there. I got under like 320. And when I started pressing, it was like, nah, it ain't going nowhere. No. So I had my cousin spot me anyway. He grabbed the weight, got it up off me, and that was it. I was it. I was hurt from my shoulder to my wrist. It was just pain. It was pain. Like I got a phone call right after that. Shaka called me, and she didn't know. And like she said, from my voice, she knew something was wrong. It was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm cool." She's like, "Nah, you sound like you about to cry." She's like, "What's wrong?" I was hurt, and like it hurt all night. Like I went to urgent care. I had to get urgent care till 1:30 in the morning. I was hurt. So that was,
But you better now.
yeah. I'm cool now. Dr. Karen Craig, go see Dr. Karen Craig. Okay, I'm gonna think about that. But I got an HMO. She probably won't take me. Don't laugh at you. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna check that out later, so I won't even laugh. I ain't gonna go there because we'll probably veer off course. What I wanted to talk about before we start talking, because what we're gonna talk about today was equality between men and women. But before we get into that, Jay had posed a question to us earlier today, and while we got a couple people in here going back and forth, and with how Nicole was talking earlier, I wanted to kind of just put his question out. See how it is. I already know my answer. My answer came out like lickety split, and said I don't think he got the question all the way out to me before I was like with my answer on it. So I let Jay pose his question because he ain't gonna do too much talking today because he said he's gonna just chill out and let Nicole have everything. Oh, okay. I'm gonna call you, Nicole. Do I got your number? I don't know if I got your number or not. If I don't have your number, send me a DM with your phone number and I'll call you. Or send me a message on Instagram, Nicole, and I'll call you.
So the question stemmed from just a kind of not necessarily having the same thought process as Nicole, but just feeling like how many people truly do believe in their dreams, right? So I just thought of it off the top of my head and figured I'd ask the crew if you're presented with an opportunity for someone to give you your annual salary to live out your dream or to not necessarily fund it, but to just pursue your dream, would you accept it with the only catch being that you have to quit your day job? So you'll get your annual salary for that year, whatever your annual salary is based off of what you currently
So
make.
at this point in the year, what he's saying. So this is March. So
No.
March,
You're gonna get the full year. You're gonna get the full year.
No. I'm saying, but at this point in the year, you're
Right.
gonna get what you would have made the entire from January to March, not a prorated part of it. So like whatever you would. So like say if you make $75,000 a year, at this point you probably already made, what would that be, about close to 25 first quarter? Yeah, close to 25,000 or something like that. You've made just about that much. They're going to give you 75 on top of what you already made for the year. But the only catch is you have to quit your job and pursue your goals. Is it goals or are we saying dreams?
Interchangeable, I guess. Some people don't have dreams; they have goals. Interchangeable.
Okay. And the question was, would you do it? Now, my answer was, hell yeah, they ain't even got to give me my annual salary. You know what I'm saying? All they got to do is keep me in a holding pattern for these next 2 months. So just pay my bills and keep me straight like next 2 months, and I'm on the ground running. Saying it don't matter to me with that point. I answered for both my cohorts. Well, except for Jay, because he was talking to me about it. Me and Jay had the conversation. We actually had it instead of being in the text. I answered for both Nicole and y'all don't really know our producer. His name is Maine Jones. We said it once or twice. We used it in the background. Anytime you see something that says opinionated in the comments, it's usually him talking. But my answer for him was hell no, he wouldn't do it. And if he said he would, he's lying. My answer. What did I say for Nicole? I said Nicole would do it, didn't I?
Initially, you said no. Initially, you said no.
Right. Initially, I said no, and that's because of not knowing what it is she wants to do.
Right.
That's what it was with that, and I think that was it. You know, with that, and how I think.
So to answer the question,
it still don't change the fact that you wouldn't do it. And before you go there, Nicole, let me give a little color because I don't want people to think I'm just picking on our producer. The thing about my producer is he's a worker bee. You know what I'm saying? I think he's comfortable with being in the position that he's in, and he puts everything else ahead of himself first. So like his thought process is going to be he needs to make sure that he got insurance to take care of his son, both his sons, you know what I'm saying, that his wife is in a good position, and you know what I'm saying, the house is taken care of, and whatever is his dream, it comes last in that there. And so he's not confident enough to believe that if he jumped out there to do that, that it would succeed and he would be able to maintain the lifestyle that he wants that his family basically to have. So I don't think he would take the chance, and that's just knowing him. That's how I feel about it.
So for me, that's one thing. What would my dream be? Like that when I said that in the group thing, like I don't have no dream. And Jay like, yes, you do. You know, and the reason why I say that is because I just feel like my passion has changed, right? So for me, in the job that I have right now, yes. Because I'm not trying to retire here. And it ain't like I'm making a whole lot of money. If it don't work out, I could just go grab another job. Honestly, right? But let's just say I was still in Chicago working at the county. If I had stayed there, this would be my 16th year.
Keep talking, Nicole. You got it.
Do I have a hat? Yeah.
Let me see it real quick. Just put it on the screen. Keep going, Nicole.
This will be my 16th year, and I was making a whole lot of money when I left there.
Just put it in the screen. That's for your brother. Just put it in the screen.
So anyway, I already know where I would be if I had stayed there, and I probably would not. And I say that because I'm all about stability, right? And that's my biggest thing, stability. And I don't take chances. That's why when people be coming to me talking about, hey, when they was doing this loom or we doing this, we doing that, I'd be like, nope, I ain't got no money to gamble. I went to the casino once, spent $30, lost $30. I ain't never gambled again. Never. I'll just go sit with whoever I'm with and watch. I'm not a risk taker, right? Because it's not just me. I have kids. Now, if it was just me, I probably could, live on the bare minimum and not worry about nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I honestly cannot do that. So if I was in a job making a lot of money, I would be scared to do that. And I say that because if I look at my past goals, which was just music, I was doing that with a job. And it has never gotten to the point. My job wasn't hindering me from doing. I toured while I was still working, doing background. I was still touring. So me having a job has not stopped me from doing what I love to do, right? Mm-hmm. But it still has not netted me enough where I can only do that, right? And it's not certain, right? Because of this pandemic, a lot of my musicians' friends put them in a bad situation. You know what I'm saying? Because they couldn't work. I, on the other hand, was working every day, still going to work because I was essential. You know what I'm saying? But so those are the things I think about. It depends. In my job right now, yeah, I would do it.
Carlotta, you said you would do it. What's your dream? Keep going, Nicole. I just want to.
So yeah, for me, it depends on the amount of money I'm making, because if it don't get where I need it to be after this year is up, it ain't like I can go back to that job. They might take me back, but what if not? Now I got to get some and start over until, you know what I'm saying, while I'm still trying to get it to pop off. Sometimes dreams take 3 years to really take off, you know?
And I definitely understand that, but your reasoning right there is one of the things that poked that idea out of my brain, right? Um, to me, I feel like your dream is your dream, right? You believe in it enough, like there is no real plan B. So if it doesn't work out, you keep pushing, right? 9 times out of 10, the first time you try something, you're gonna fail at it. 9 times out of 10. So going to me, like believing in the dream in itself is enough for me to be like, yes, I would do that, regardless of how much money I made, you know. And it may sound like, oh, it's easy for you to say that because you make a decent living, but in the same token, like I do this right now for free, and this is what I went to school for. This is my dream, to be able to talk. When I was growing up, I wanted to be a DJ on the radio, like Crazy Hal McGee. You know, I wanted to do
We
that.
don't like him.
Well, I mean, I wanted to do what he did. You know what I mean? The Leon Rogers, Tony Schofield. I wanted to do what they did.
What's Rick Party? What was the Love guy name?
The Love guy.
Somebody named something Love.
I was gonna say Leon Lonnie Love. But this, to me, like this is my dream. So I would definitely, like, I'm doing it for free now, right? So if I was able to get my full year's salary and to be able to pursue it, because this is also something that I built in when I responded to my own question talking to Lavelle. Me being the person that I am, and it kind of piggybacks off of what he said about my brother. I also like stability. So the first thing I'm going to do when I get my my annual salary is pay off my rent. So now I don't have to worry about not having somewhere to live. So whatever it is, I'm going to cut whatever my rent or mortgage is off of that. And now I'm going to use the rest of that to go towards my goal.
What was that face for, the code? You ain't paying no rent?
Because I will be broke after. I don't make that much money. If I pay off my rent, I ain't got shit.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, though. You can give yourself.
So that's what I'm saying. You would be in a position to do that and still have money. If
Well,
I got my annual salary, I would not be able to pay my rent for a year and my car note off. I would not.
Car note.
But I'm just saying that's something I would want to do because now I don't have those bills. I'm just saying.
Thing, though, you can build.
He would be in a position to do that.
But you could build in your cushion, right? Here's the thing. Like, to me, I feel like oftentimes, and I don't want to get too deep into this because we got another topic that we want to discuss, but oftentimes, specifically with us, we always put obstacles in front of us to stop us to push towards whatever it is that we want. So you'll say, I don't have enough to push my whole year. You might have enough to do 2 months. You might have enough to where you can at least take 2 months to free your mind and not clear about your rent or whatever bill it is that you choose to eliminate for those 2 months, and not solely have to worry about that and focus on your craft. And them 2 months might be the thing that you need to write the song that take you out of here. You know what I mean? But oftentimes than not, we always put something in front of us to tell us why we can't succeed, as opposed to pushing towards our goals and knocking down those walls and just saying, fuck it, throwing caution into the wind and trying it. I've worked with so many white people that have quit jobs with no plan. I worked with this one guy. I was 18. I had just started working. I working in corporate America. This guy I worked for a law firm at the time, and he had been with the firm for about 7 years. And at the time, I think he was like 28. He was getting paid a lot. Like at the time he was 27. I think he was getting paid like 90 grand. And his girlfriend had got a job in Portland or something like that. And she was going to be making less money than him. He got up, quit his job, and left to go behind her. And not to say that was a bad thing, but he didn't think about, I'm going to be giving up this job or how we going to make ends meet or whatever the case may be. You will figure out a way. And a lot of the times I think it's because of it. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of shit behind why we feel this way and why we act like that. And I understand that, but I kind of think we got to break those barriers, right? We got to kind of start to push towards our goals as opposed to pulling ourselves back.
I
Hard to
think
do.
if you have, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think if you have a support, it would be easy. It's like for me, right? I put all my eggs was in one basket. Okay, I knew from a little girl I wanted to be a singer. I just knew that's what it was gonna be. I could taste it. I saw it. That's what it was. I applied to one college. Okay, Berkeley Conservatory of Music, got a scholarship, but because I did everything by ear and I couldn't read music and I didn't know that, they were like, okay, we'll hold it for a year. And I wound up going to Columbia. And just things weren't panning out. And it's hard in this industry, right? So by the time I was 19, I got my own apartment, right? Got my own apartment. So now I'm paying my own bills. I don't have no man. I ain't never had no man that say, hey, babe, while you do this, I'm going to take care of this. So at the same time, I'm trying to do this. So now I'm facing people saying, hey, you ain't got the look we looking for. Yes, you're good. Oh, you do this for a living, but it's not what we're looking for, doors getting closed. And it can be discouraging, right? Especially when you just put everything into that. So I look at some people's stories and they say, yeah, I was sleeping on floors. I just wasn't willing to sleep on no floors and to have nothing to try to get there. I just felt like, no, I can't afford to do that. I need to have a roof over my head. I need to have this. You know what I mean? Now, I know somebody who does music for a living, but guess what? She got a husband that make 6 figures that allows her to do gigs and maybe get $75 a week until she was built up to where she's making good money doing the music now. I never had that support unless I went back home and stayed with my mom and daddy. I didn't want to live at home.
I think
sleeping on the couch.
I don't want to me, and this is gonna make us argue. I don't want to argue, and I'm not trying.
I'm not gonna argue
in a mean way. But to me, it just sounded like more excuses, really. Honestly.
But it just is what it is. It might sound like an excuse to you, and it might, and I know that I'm scared to not have. And one thing my kids said to me before when they say, I remember they were young and they say, I love you. Thank you for this. One thing they said is, you never put us in a position to not have a house or not have food, or you know what I'm saying? I just never want to be in that position. I cannot be a struggling artist. I absolutely cannot be a struggling artist.
I think obviously now, like, circumstances change, right? So you at 19, 17, 18, before you had the responsibilities you have now, could have taken more risks. Like right now you have.
But I was performing. I was doing more then than I'm doing now. It just was so many doors. Boom, boom, boom. No, you don't look right. You too skinny. That's not what we're looking for.
100% true say sounds like excuses. Jay, let's talk about you for a second.
Oh,
I don't know who the hell it is, but
I don't know either, but it got to be somebody who know you.
What inspired the hairstyle? I like big hair, but I'm actually going to twist it when we get off of here. But I was thinking I wanted a big style. I have it in a ponytail. It just turned out to be way bigger than what was in my head. So I'm going to twist it when we finish. But I like big hair.
No, I just feel like we gotta, like, obviously we all have. I'm guilty of it, right? Like we've all said, I can't.
100% true. What you want to talk about with Jay? Keep going, Jay. After this, I just want to know what they want to talk about. Like it sounded like they had a specific thing they needed to say about it.
I don't know. We've all fell victim to that, right? Like we all put boundaries in front of us. We all have said, I can't do this because of that. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, I think we need to kind of get past that. And I'm not saying, like, obviously, like I was saying before, like, circumstances change. You know what I mean? Like, the risks you could have taken, would have taken back then aren't the same risks that you can or will take right now. But I still think that you could still pursue your dream. You know what I mean? Like, you can still push towards it. You don't necessarily have to go into the poorhouse to do so. But, like, honestly, I feel like you're doing it now and you just really don't even acknowledge it because it's not, I guess, where you would like it to be at this point. But even getting back into the gigs and doing what you even spoke of at the beginning of the show is pushing towards it. Like you never gave up on it. It's just not pushed.
See, I don't think that's what hurt. I don't think that's what hurt.
She just said when she was a kid, she knew she
it's hard to say. It's hard to say how what I'm thinking of it, because like I understand that's her passion, that's what she wants to do. But in my head, so put like, okay, like with me, you don't have the answers, Jay. Okay, put like there are some things that you would just do, period, for free. You know, like y'all know with me, like I would coach football with the youth for free. If money wasn't an issue and we didn't have to make money, I would go out there every day, and that's something I would do if I was already sustained in my life. I think it's the same way with singing for Nicole. It's just the fact I think she would just do it. When you talk about I think because of how she's been going on, I think she's more so thinking of her dream at this point. And I'm not to say I know everything, but I think her dream at this point is some type of financial freedom, and not knowing how to gain that is where the confusion comes. Because I don't think she believes that if she put all her baskets right into singing at this point, she would be able to live off of singing. It was like you would have a good feeling, maybe every now and then you might make a couple dollars to be able to go and pay a bill here or there, but she wouldn't be able to make a living off of that. And I think her thought process is, I need something that's not this damn job that I'm doing, but something that I can enjoy, that will grant me financial freedom. And then that way I can pursue singing as just something to fulfill me in my life. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's the point where she's looking at singing as the dream to get there.
So this is a prayer that I had real quick. I'm sorry, Jay. So I prayed to God, and I was like, thank you for sending me work where that I'm happy and I'm able to, take care of myself and I enjoy doing, so that I can sing more, unless that job is singing more. So let's just say I find a band where, like this band, they're paying pretty good, right? Exactly. If it's every single weekend, let's just say if it's just every Friday and Saturday, that could allow me to not work and only do that. And I just told Egypt, I said, I wish I could find a corporate band where I can just sing on weekends and I could spend my weeks learning material, learning music, perfecting this, perfecting that, and being able to be free during the day, take her to school, pick her up, go to doctor's appointment, do whatever. You know what I'm saying? And not be sitting in front of a computer for 8.5 hours.
I don't want to say I just said that, but I just said that.
But yeah, I would like that, but but it's still not stable.
Not yet, right? Not yet. But
because of this, the way the world is, right? True. Like the person I was telling you about that has the husband that allows her to do that. When this pandemic hit, it went from making maybe $8,000 a week to $0. What if she ain't had that husband?
Hopefully she saves some money.
Right. This is my thought process. If you're making $8,000 a week, that's what.
Yeah, but you know how some people be when they ain't used to that. But some people, you know what I'm saying?
At some point, we got to start.
You would think that.
And I feel like you would think that. So even if the time did come where things slow down, you will be good. I think you'll be good. Nobody asked her for approval. Do you know what we talking about? 100% true. I think you came in the middle of the conversation and didn't catch it. We're not asking for her.
That's Nicole on YouTube. She on YouTube with a fake account. Goals. What's the goal, Shaka? I think everybody has goals. But everybody also has a roadblock and that they have to get around to get to that goal.
And I honestly feel like with 90% of us, we're one of our biggest roadblocks.
Yes, mentally, exactly. It is. I think my biggest roadblock in most of the things now is construction, and being afraid to let construction go because of the money I can make with that. But then another thing is, I think what it is, I want so bad for whatever I do outside of construction to be done with the people around me. You know what I'm saying? Like I really want, I don't want to leave my people. So it's like a lot of stuff I want to do. It's like, okay, y'all, what we gonna do? What y'all want to do? You know what I'm saying? and then the grind.
Not consistently, Shaka. Sometimes it might be 2. It just depends on the amount of. I'm sorry, Neil. The amount of the gig.
Mm-hmm.
Some people pay 50,000. These weddings, these bar mitzvahs, some 12, 20,000. Some people might only pay 7 if it's budget. It just depends on the amount. But that was kind of like on the high end.
They might need to change their name to 62% true. 8,000 a week is your goal?
I think that's low, right?
I think that's very low for that to be your goal. I think, and a lot of times that's a problem too. We don't aim high enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't aim high enough. I don't leave my people. That's cold, Lavelle. That's cold. Well, I mean, I don't want to leave my people. That's what it is. I like the people who I hang out with, who I'm with. Most of the time, I want us all to eat together. I want us all to grow together. Some of the time, that's a hindrance because our thoughts don't align. Some of the time, our thoughts align, but it's just the fact of being able to
execute.
It doesn't always come in at the same time. But a lot of times with me, if I know you 100% in, I'll just start doing most of the leg work. I mean, I'll get fussed out about it, but most of the time I'm at least going to get us in a position where it's like, okay, look, I got us to here. It's probably as far as I can go with it. You know what I'm saying? Because I know a lot. I don't know everything. So we just got to be ready. And then a lot of times what hinders my group right now is the legwork part, because we all have become adults, really, where you got to just do things. You know what I'm saying? And you can't just, you know what I'm saying? You don't have a lot of free time with us. And the legwork part is, and we have not got to the point we just decide, okay, we need to farm it out. We need to come to a decision within our group where it's like, okay, these are the things we need to do. Maybe we need to farm it out. I don't know if it's like getting virtual assistants to do some of the stuff. I'm trying to get an intern to do some of the stuff, but to keep things moving, we don't put enough. We keep a lot of the work that needs to be done on our own shoulders, and that keeps it from getting done because it has to get done when we have time, and that time usually comes when you're extra tired after having a whole day of work going on.
That's definitely Nicole. That's definitely Nicole.
What?
That's definitely Nicole. That's definitely Nicole.
Thank you. That's 100% true. They know what they're talking about. Thank you.
That's why you can't see her hands. She down here. She down up under the screen. You see, she's sitting nice and straight. She got a computer all day too. She got a work laptop to the side.
No, we have computers. 2 monitors.
2 monitors, so that's what it is. She got us on one, got YouTube up on the other one, boy. She's just throwing comments in there.
That's her Egypt, one of the two.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
She made that profile today. That's why ain't no picture up there. I'm going to get Jay today. As soon as he starts some stuff, I'm going to have backup today, I bet.
All right.
So, I don't know. We could keep talking this here. Y'all want to shift. Y'all want to get up out of this here.
Excuse me.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
I mean, I think this is an interesting topic that we have today.
I think it's interesting, obviously.
No, I'm talking about
that costs money to farm out stuff. And when you don't have that steady income to pay for those options, I think that's another issue that you have to get beyond, Shaka, because everything costs money. Thing about it is, if you actually pay attention to your day, you can find the money that you need to do those by just cutting out some of the stuff that you probably don't need to be doing. I know me. I know I jack up a lot of money just eating.
Whoa. Different choice of words.
Said jag off money just eating. But you want me to say screw off money? But I mean, I'm pretty sure if you take a look at your day or your spending habits, there are some spots that you can pull back at that will allow you to do other things, or you can add it into the budget, because the thing is, we have to become problem solvers and not, you know what I'm saying, allow all the obstacles to keep us from doing what it is that we're doing, that we want to do. We have to start coming up with solutions. And if there's no solution, you're going to stay where you're at. You
don't have the answers, Phil.
No, I said Jay doesn't have the answers. I do. I have the answers. You know what I'm saying? 100% ain't been on my back yet.
Not yet. It's coming. They didn't hit everybody but you. The low key, that might be your ass. Why shit? You're the only person that ain't been touched. Nicole says she want to go into the topic. She's it's piqued her interest.
All right, so hold up. All right. So now the topic, what we were talking about now, I've asked a couple people too out on the street. The thing is, for those who don't know, we were talking about gender equality basically, but what sparked the topic was, I don't know if it was last week or the week before last. I can't remember the guy's last name. I know his first name is William, but he changed his name to Leah. He's a transgender guy who competed in the NCAA women's swimming tournament.
He didn't become transgender till he was an adult.
Now, he's in college. For his first 3 years of college, he competed as a man in swimming. He was ranked number 462. He switched over to transgender, and now he's ranked number 1 in women's swimming. And he won the NCAA title a couple weeks ago, but he beat him by like a whole length. And he's not a small cat either. That is true. That is true, Carletta. I mean, she's. She's finna get up out of it. Where you going, Nicole? Is this because of the equality? Because of the transgender? Don't leave. Speak what you got. I'm gonna speak to Carletta's comment. Then we're gonna go into the racial. I mean, not racial, to the gender equality. What you said is true.
Hold on. Wait. I could listen to Nicole talk all day, baby. Come on now.
Maybe they talk about Nicole Freeman. You know, she in the comments today. She didn't have yoga class today.
Okay.
Now, as Carletta saying, you have opinions and you can't be chill about it. We're going to have to probably pull you in today then. We can get them opinions from the horse's mouth. You ain't got to type it out. You probably ain't going to be typing fast enough to get them out. I want to hear your opinions. That's why it's called Opinionated. You're part of the nation. You're part of Opinion Nation. We all hold our opinions here. Whatever you got to say it. Nicole and Jay ain't been chill for 2 weeks. They've been going at it. So let it ride.
We got a question in the private chat that needs to be answered.
Okay, let me see. Gotta keep doing that.
Not out loud.
Not out loud, okay. I can answer it out loud, just don't say it out loud. The answer is no.
Oh, okay.
I mean, what's wrong with that question? That was easy.
Ever heard of exhibition sport? She needs to be there.
That was easy. And you said she too.
What do you mean needs to be there?
Damn, I'm licking ass. What the?
Oh, who is this? That's Tammy. That's who it is. I figured it out. It's Tammy.
Why I gotta be licking ass? Because I don't want to go nowhere.
I think maybe. I think that probably was supposed to be Kick. The K and L are close on the keyboard. So
okay.
I'm gonna give 100% true benefit of the doubt.
It says, I keep saying this is not fair. This is so not fair. If you understand biology and physiology, trans people should be in a group to compete separately.
Agreed.
Right. They got Special Olympics. You don't see nobody in a wheelchair playing basketball talking about they want to compete with people with legs.
Maine Jones, Nicole says she wants to come in live because she needs to clarify what she was saying. So make that happen.
I was talking to my wife about that earlier, and she said the same exact thing. The same exact thing you said.
What? About the Special Olympics?
Yeah.
I said that this is my thing. I don't believe he should have been allowed. Or I'm sorry, I gotta call him she now, right? Or is he they? Whatever.
How we really know he really transgender? You competed as a man, and then when you came in 462, then you decide, let me go on and beat these women. For all I know, he decided because we can't challenge it. I'm gonna say I want to be a woman so I could be number one. How we know?
Yeah, they said that he has been taking the hormones or whatever you go do since 2019.
Okay.
And now in 2022, he's transgender. So that's that's the thing is now there's been an uproar about it, of course, in the day. He still got his pork and beans in there. He still got his pork and beans.
That doesn't mean he's not a transgender though. because you don't necessarily have to get rid of.
Okay, hold on, real quick. Hey, 100%. We're gonna watch how we talk about our people in the nation now. We ain't gonna go there
Yeah, we ain't doing that one now. We're not gonna disrespect each other
at all.
Is this somebody we know?
I don't know. That's why they ain't got no picture of that up there. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I ain't got no problem with you going live too, but you gotta watch how you talk to the people. What about the black young lady they said couldn't compete?
Yeah, something about she
she
didn't want to take testosterone, right? So they banned her.
That was a while ago. I do remember that. This is my issue. And like I said, I talked to a couple people while I've been on the street about this, and I've asked this question about it and how they felt about the young lady competing. Most of the women I talked to, they were trying to be PC, and they really didn't want to say they didn't. I'm saying the person to compete. When I said that, I didn't think that he should have been allowed to compete with the women. They agreed, but then my next question was, well, if he can't compete with women, he's transgender. What does equality look like? Because I hear a lot about how women are equal to men, and you know what I'm saying. And so, what is the true face of equality then? If we outright saying that we know that women can't compete with men in certain things.
The same thing Dave Chappelle said. If women were equal physically, there would not be a need for
the WNBA or
the
a women's division of anything. I agree.
Fantasy sports, football, or women's league, and I believe having a transgender woman compete with women it's not the same as gender equality, because if it was, then you could stay a man and compete. You shouldn't have to say I'm a woman now to compete.
What is the goal of gender equality? Is it equality all across the board, or is equality within certain parameters?
My understanding of
the women that I talked to said that it was in the mental arena. Physically, it's not. They don't want equality physically, but they want basically equality for like mental property. So, like say in the workplace, they want equality in pay. They want equality, I guess, in respect and things like that. It's not to say that they are equal to men, but they want.
But that's what the fight was for. When they were having these, when women were fighting for rights and equal rights, it was all for getting equal pay, the right to vote. Nobody was fighting to be a mechanic. Nobody was saying, hey, we want to play football with y'all. Although there are some women that may want to do it, just like some men on the cheerleading team, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, it was never about us trying to be men. It almost seems like men were mad that women wanted to be paid the same. Oh, you want to be paid the same? Oh, that means you want to be me. Go on out there and mow the lawn. Go on do that. Oh, you think you but if we're doing the same exact job, why shouldn't I be getting paid as you? Why should you be getting paid more just because you're a man?
Huh?
There's a trans MMA fighter who's been fighting for years and been beating up women.
Crazy.
So
I think,
and that don't count as men beating up a woman, huh? Because he said he's a woman. So now men can whoop their wives and say, I'm a woman. I feel like a woman.
Domestic though, right? Like two women can get into a domestic dispute though.
Yeah, but nobody will look at it like this. But nobody will look at it like a man beating on a woman. If it's two women that's together and they'll be just looked at as two women fighting. But if a husband whoop on a woman, that's a different dynamic.
Well, I mean,
you don't think so?
I do.
No, I think abuse is abuse, right?
No, abuse is abuse, but I'm not talking about how you feel. I'm just talking about the reality of it. If it's two women fighting, you're looking at it as two women fighting. Ain't nobody gonna pick which woman was stronger and say you shouldn't hit her.
I see what you're saying.
Are you talking about real women? Damn, that sounded wrong. Like not trans.
Right. If it's domestic, two women fighting, but if it's a husband and a wife, it's gonna be a problem. So this just opened up all different types of doors. A husband can whoop a woman and say, hey, I feel like I'm a woman. I'm a woman in my head. So I can whoop on women.
But see, okay, but the thing is though, we have to kind of get the line drawn on where it is with equality and how we should act, because you do have to realize too, even though we know women can't do the things men do, some women still believe they can.
Some women can. It's a small
percentage. It's a small percentage.
But some women
I was speaking in generals when I said that, because there are some women who can go. Whether you're talking about fighting or you talking about lifting stuff or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It's some women that's shit.
There are some women who have a lot of testosterone.
If he put on the dress.
What'd you say?
Tasha said maybe if he put on the dress, then it'll be fair.
I mean, the guy.
How is that fair?
The MMA fighter's in there in that little woman singlet thing. He in there in the woman gear, or she's in there in the woman. Am I supposed to be calling him them?
I would quit before I got in the ring
if they
with a man, woman fighting
her.
Please.
Mm-hmm.
If she, or I don't know what this person identifies as, but if they identify as a woman, then yes, their pronoun would be she.
So now this is the thing though. If they identify as a woman, why can't they compete with women? We allow them to tell us what they are.
That's the issue.
We allow a person to come in and say, no, I'm not a man. Yes, I don't care. I identify as a woman. I should have been a woman all my life. I lived my life as a man, got all this man strength. I'm grown as hell as a man. But I think I should be a woman now, and I'm going to switch over into a woman's arena and compete with them. So which challenges the phrase equal exchange is no robbery, which is usually used by men about sex, which is BS. Sex is not the same physically, mentally, or socially the same.
Something we said challenged the phrase of equal exchange is no robbery, meaning one for one. You know what I mean? One for one. I'm assuming she's saying that we men use it when we speak about sex, right? Meaning dick ain't no high, pussy ain't no higher than dick. It's my assumption is what she mean when she's saying. Okay. And she's saying that sex is not the same physically, mentally, or socially. And I'm assuming at that point she switched it sex to mean gender. That's my thought process behind that. I don't know. Maybe I'm confusing it, but that's what I got from that.
Nicole says, and there are a lot of beta men out there too, not just some strong women. And Nicole just said what I said: biology versus identity.
I think this is all new to all of us, right? Like you don't know how to properly identify a person because you don't know what they identify as. You know what I mean? You can come up to a person who may look like a man and they'll say, no, I'm a ma'am. Or you'll come across a person that looks like a ma'am and they identify as a man. So it's tough for us to navigate through what's the right thing to do. You know what I mean? What's the right thing to say?
But I think the thing with that is, if we as a society and society wants everybody to be of one mind. We want the hive mind. We want everybody to be happy. You know what I'm saying? As society,
and they're trying to eliminate sexes. They're trying to eliminate male and female.
They want that. So guess what? So if they're trying to eliminate sexes, they're basically saying that we are all equal, period, hands down. So now if that's what we're saying, then you can't at one thing tell me we are all equal. And no matter how wrong I think it is for this person to compete against these women in the sport that we knew they had no chance of beating him, we can't go into uproar because now he's competing over there and this is what you're pushing for anyway.
I agree. And I agree with what you're saying, Nicole, but the way that the world is moved. So like, this is what I liken it to, right? When everything that's being eased to us, right?
Hold on, Tasha. You called an older black lady, sir, and you don't think she's supposed to went off on your ass?
Maybe she had a beard.
She's supposed to went off on you. You clearly said you called a black lady, sir. Gender matter. It has to be included in each equation. A sexless society is nuts. Population zero goes against nature, spirituality, and religion. I agree. I totally agree. But the thing is, I don't think there are enough voices speaking out against it for everybody want to be politically correct. So when it came out about non-binary, there were so many people who didn't want to step on the toes of what are they called? Are they in the alphabet community?
Who?
The non-binary people.
Yes.
So what's they letter?
It's non-binary. It's LGBT, some non-binary. That's all.
Okay, so whatever. But when it came about, there was no uproar against it. People just said, okay, well, if that's what they want to be, then we got to let them have that.
There's a difference, though, right, between non-binary and transgender, too, right?
Yes, it's different. But I'm using it as an example to say that we're trying so hard not to step on toes. So when these things happen, like when we get to this point, guess what? Now we've already opened the door and allowed them to have these feelings, or allowed them to understand that we're not going to trample on their feelings. And you can, yes, if you want to be a woman, you can tell me you're a woman, and everybody has to accept it. Nobody can have an opinion about you being a man and saying that you're a woman. Nobody can have an opinion about that you identify as a woman until we tell you can be a woman. Then when you go compete against women and win, now we want to say it's not right. I'm not calling nobody by they or them. I didn't suffer through 2 decades of education and perfecting my grasp of the English language for society to pivot. I had the same argument when we talked about it a while ago.
I think so. The way that I liken it is like, okay, when we as Black people, right? Before we had, I guess, what we would consider equal rights, which we know we don't have, but before it was presented to the world that we had equal rights, right? And white people started to see us being integrated into their society. You see what I'm saying? I feel like that's the same. That's how we like it. This, right? It's almost like they didn't feel like what was going on with us was right at the time. You see what I'm saying? Like, Black people shouldn't be on my TV. Black people shouldn't be in schools with my kid. It's I liken it to that. You know what I mean? Not obviously not the same struggle, huh?
How?
It's not the same struggle. I'm not saying the struggle is the same, but just the way that society is viewing it is the same. It's almost like, no, you shouldn't be here, and this is because we are used to things being one way. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not saying I agree with a man being able to compete with a woman on any level, transgender or not. I'm not saying that I agree with that, but I'm just speaking to the perception of society. This is what we're used to seeing. So of course, when something out of the ordinary is new to us, right? So it's of course, no, you shouldn't be doing that. But
that's what my kids say, because that's how they're presenting it, and that's exactly what my kids say. What Jay is saying, they're likening it to how would you feel if they said, at one time they said Blacks weren't supposed to be doing this or that, a Black wasn't supposed to be that, you know what I mean? But then when it started changing, they didn't like it because it was a change, right?
My issue is the same. Most of the people who are having that argument, they're trying to play both sides of the fence, because they want to say, okay, he has the right to be a woman and identify as a woman and all this. And those same people are saying he has a right to compete and do it. I mean, live his life and all of that, right? But then when he beat the shit out of them girls in that race, then it was the uproar. He shouldn't have been competing. He shouldn't have been over there. And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you can't have it both ways. Me personally, if he want to say he's a woman, okay, he say he's a woman. My argument now is, where do we go with the equality part of it? You know what I'm saying? You can't have it both ways. You can't say, yes, you have the right to claim to be a woman and then go compete with the women. And then when we realize, damn, he beating their ass, they have no chance. Because basically you're saying, I'm taking the chance off of everybody else, every other woman. Once he steps in, you might as well just say, okay, he won. There's no longer
I think the issue is they're allowing transgender people, they're trying to even eliminate the term transgender. Because if I'm transgender,
you know you just broke 650. You know damn well you had 800.
I ain't buying that shit at all.
So I think that they're even trying to do away with the term transgender, right? Because now they want you to basically, they're naming us. I'm not a woman anymore. I'm a cis woman, right?
For what?
A CIS. Cis. That means I was born a woman.
Yeah.
Right. Oh. So now I got to have a label.
So I'm a cis man?
Yes.
Oh.
You didn't see that Malik Yoba interview on the Breakfast Club?
I don't fuck with Malik when he started talking about fucking transgenders and stuff.
But wait, before you get into that, I think the problem is we're allowing transgender women to say they are women. They just want the title to be acknowledged as a woman, not as a transgender. I am a woman. When you look at Dwayne Wade's son, Zion, whose now name is Zaya or whatever, that's a girl. She's not transgender, a little girl. They want you to just recognize her as a girl, point blank, period. And that's the problem. If you transgender, just like if we gonna use like with the Special Olympics, right? They acknowledge I have disability or whatever, right? So they got a category for you. You acknowledge you transgender. Okay, that's fine if that's what you are. Let's have they should have transgender sports, transgender bathrooms, because as a mother, because the way they're doing it, you can't challenge anybody. Any man can have horrible thoughts and feel like I'm finna go in this woman's bathroom because they can't tell me to get out. All they can do is think like, oh my God, I can't say anything because he looks like a man, but he might want to be you can't say nothing. And he and they're attacking little girls or women.
Yeah, I go in the women's bathroom because it'd be clean. Niggas be in there, guys be like pissing from the door or something, man. You go in there, they I don't know how you miss a urinal.
I don't know what store you be in, but women bathrooms I go in stank.
Bathroom was clean. I've always heard women's bathrooms way worse than men's bathrooms.
Stank.
But I've never been in a woman's bathroom.
Couple I've been in be spotless. I don't make a habit of just going in women's bathrooms.
I was just gonna say, what the hell you doing just creeping in the women's bathroom?
Sometimes you get to a spot, they only got them 2 bathrooms, and it's like dudes be in that one and be locked up. They got that one bag in there, and you got to go. It's like, hey, I got to go. So
what Nicole said, her job offered it on name tags to put that you're cis. I told y'all how my job did. They told me that they are very what's the word, diverse and inclusive or whatever. If I wanted to change my race, I could go in there and identify as what race I want to identify as. I could go change it and say, I'm not black, I'm white. They would support that.
You know what's funny about that though? Anytime you get pulled over, the police gonna acknowledge you as a black female.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you get pulled over, you're gonna get it. Now, if you, regardless of whether or not you identify as white, Asian, Mexican, whatever, when you get pulled over, it's gonna be presented over the intercom as a black female.
Yeah,
that is the only thing that they won't be able to. And when I say they, I don't mean a particular group of people, but that's the only thing that won't change, right? Because that is a physical identifier that. I guess sex is a physical identifier, but you can't cover up your color, right? You can cover up your sex. There are some men that you wouldn't be able to tell are women, right? And there's some women that you wouldn't have been able to tell that they were women, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
But that skin, unless you go the Sammy Sosa route, you can't cover that up.
Carletta says they can say they are a woman, but when it comes to physicality, muscle capacity, not only that, women lose iron every month. Are they willing to have their iron depleted like a cis woman to compete with them? Hell no, they ain't. No.
Then I saw this ad, right? It was maxi pads, right? And it said, it was written in red, I guess to signify was blood, talking about sanitary periods are not gender specifics. And this is why I'm telling you, they're trying to eliminate the transgender term and just say you are what you are. And I'm like, what? So when I read further, basically what they mean is that women that are now transgender men, of course, they're still having periods, but they're not labeled as a transgender man. They are men who have periods.
Oh, okay. I thought they were trying to say the men who were transferring over to women were having periods. Like, they giving dudes periods?
Oh,
I forgot about the studs. So yeah,
right.
Studs, yeah, they still have periods, right?
But it's you still what your gender is. It don't matter what you want to be
I
called.
don't
I
even
can say I want to
know.
be a dog and walk on
Huh?
all fours all day long and lick my water out of a bowl. Do that mean I'm a dog now? Do y'all need to put a leash on me and walk me because I'm saying, hey, I identify as a dog and I refuse to talk and I'm just gonna bark and walk on all fours and lick out this bowl? Am I not a woman anymore?
I've never seen a stud in Walgreens or CVS with some pads. I ain't never.
They send the lady to get them. They just share their they girls pads. You know what I'm saying, they don't go get them and stuff. So, but we still haven't decided what we're gonna do with equality. Where does equality go?
I think equality. I don't know if equality is the right term, right? Because equality is an umbrella, right? It's everything. It encompasses everything.
I think
So
that's the issue
equality,
because it encompasses everything. I think that's why we run into this problem because we try to use instead of like coming down to this is what equality means and this is what we're looking for when we say equality. We try to use it as an umbrella, and that's why we run into this problem. Because
because it is though, right? You can't ask for equality with parameters because then it's not equal. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't even make sense to say it like that, right?
So then in the same sense, then if you can't ask for it with parameters and equality is just what it means as equality, then we can't be upset that this man went over there and won this women's race. And we really saying that we don't need to separate the genders.
I don't
We can
think
get
that's
rid of
what
the
equality
WNBA and they
means.
could just start playing in the NBA.
I don't think that's what equality means in my mind. I think equality means just you're treating everybody as equal, right?
I don't
Not
even
so
think there's really a such thing as being equal.
well, I'm just saying with the same amount of respect. Like when women wanted equality, we just wanted equal pay, the right to vote, certain rights, right? Not to be treated as a second class citizen, the same way black people wanted equality, right? We still not equal to white people, right? There's still certain things that you can't do as a black man as your white counterpart can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why Bill Cosby was in jail. And people want to holler, what about this man? What about him? What about him? You know what I'm saying? There's certain things you as a black man can't do as your white counterparts. And there's certain things as me as a woman that I cannot do as a male counterpart, right? There's certain things I can't do. But we still, as black people, wanted equality. And we feel like we got it a little bit. It's better than what it was before. And all women wanted was equality, respect, and to be treated fairly. Okay.
That's the term. I think that's the thing. To be treated fairly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Equal may I think equal to me, like we said, if we're using equal as an all-encompassing umbrella, that's not the term. But you want to be treated fairly. So
Mm-hmm.
it's unfair to do the same job as a man and not get paid the same as him. It's
Right.
unfair to be in a workplace and have a man harass you and nothing happens to him. Like that, to me, I feel like is the word. Because if we go down to the nuts and bolts of it all, there is no equality between men and women. Just like you just said, there is no equality between different races. There's no equality between a black woman and a white woman, a black man and a white man, whatever. You know what I'm saying? There is no equality. What you really want is fairness. And I'm gonna tell you something that my 8th grade teacher told me. And
Life ain't fair.
Life ain't fair. Then you die. You see what I'm saying? So really give up on that shit, right? Like it's not gonna happen, which I think is fucked up because it is unfair that women do jobs that men do and they get paid less. It
Men.
is.
So
Did you say
what
men?
equity do you want though, Carletta? So both Carletta and Nicole are saying it's an equity thing. What equity is it that you want though as women? You know what I'm saying? I mean, what is it that you want? The fair, we're not gonna get fair. We understand that. But I think we have to pick and choose.
You're not gonna get equal either, though, right? You know what I mean? So
No, we're not gonna get equal.
really, like if we're gonna judge it from that broad angle, then why are we really even having this conversation, right? I think fairness is a more a fairness actually to me addresses the inequity, right?
Yeah, it does. But I think the issue that you would have with the fairness is, and I think most people would believe this, is the overreaching or the moving of the goalpost or the flagpost. Because once you start to talk about one thing, it's like once you get that little inch on it, it's like, okay, cool. Now, what about this for us? And Okay, what about this for them? We can do the same thing, because you have to realize there is a lot of argument of women when it comes out to say we can do the same thing men can do, and things of that nature.
Why you just everybody cereal?
I'm with you on the transgender league. I do, like I said, I think the issue with a transgender league though is you don't need to make a transgender league when they can just compete with their biological gender. Plain and simple. If you're a guy, compete with the guys. If you're a female, compete with the female.
Well, I think it's.
But will that be fair though? Right? Because females that's trying to be men, don't they take more testosterone or whatever, and that makes them like stronger and more male like, right? And you can't take certain drugs when you're competing, right?
So they won't be able to compete.
They won't be able to compete unless they have their own.
Right.
No matter how you look at it, it's not equal. It's not fair for transgender male to be able to compete with women. And on the flip side of it, it's not fair or equal for a transgender woman to compete with men. So I mean, like the only outlet for people that live that lifestyle to, I guess, be able to compete and it be on an even playing field is for them to have their own sector of whatever it is that we're doing.
So when you're saying we're gonna give them their own sector, then I'm gonna get a bunch of women who trying to look like men competing in a man's sport, and a bunch of men who trying to look like women competing in swimming and out there in onesies and shit.
Would you rather that, or not your daughters, but like if your daughter was an MMA fighter getting in there with a man and him breaking her face?
I'd kill him.
But I'm saying to avoid that, would you rather go to jail for murder, or would you rather just let them, and I'd say them like they're not people, but let those people deal with.
That don't sound better either.
It don't. I'm trying to figure out a way to say this politically correct, but allow people that live that lifestyle to compete with each other on an even playing field.
Not even each other. I mean, this is my thing. If you are an MMA fighter or any type of martial arts fighter, like boxing or anything like that, and you are a man, I don't care what you identify as, what you were born as, you need to compete with men.
But I think what you're missing is they'll still be competing against men, because they'll be competing against other transgender men. So it'll still be man on man. It's just that they have their own sector, because you don't want if they, or it'll be woman on woman at that point, but it'll be two biological men. So you don't want that man.
But they're taking a lot of estrogen too, and that's probably why maybe he couldn't really compete with the men.
I don't want to sound.
He was 462nd.
To me, that just sounds like he wasn't good enough to compete with the men before the estrogen. You see what I'm saying? Like he just wasn't good enough, and it was like, I know I'm physically bigger, stronger, faster than them.
And he big. He ain't small. He big. Dude, like 6'4" or something.
Yeah. But I mean, I to me it would make sense just
that is not the same now.
Or would it be reversed? Would it be a gospel singer who switched to R&B to make it?
You know, what he's saying is the R&B singers is better than gospel singers.
No, there's a lot. There's some gospel singers that make it. Like, I can agree with that. Like, y'all ever heard of what's her name? Corinne Hawthorne?
Oh no.
Corinne Hawthorne. She sang that song. Won't he do it? I know he will. Anyway, she was on The Voice. She wasn't singing gospel. She didn't win The Voice, but when she came out, she's a gospel artist. She ain't no big gospel artist, but she's making it. Look at Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child. When she went solo, and she might have always just said, hey, my passion is gospel. Who knows? But she went gospel, and she has an awesome career. I believe if she would have just tried to do what Kelly did, she would not.
So you're saying it's easier to make it gospel. So what Linnell says brings some truth to it. So when
I think it's easier to have a steady career. You might not blow up like a R&B artist.
If you number 100 on the Billboard charts for R&B, switch on over to gospel, you might be number 10, number 5. Oh, she got to go somewhere. She put me on hold.
She put me on hold.
So. But I just don't think I don't think we should put energy into making an entire lane for transgenders. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
if you don't want transgenders competing with who they identify as, what's the medium, right? What's the level playing ground
to compete where you were born as.
But then, okay, so like, just thinking about it from both sides, right? What you're saying is you refuse to accept this person's lifestyle.
Nope.
You have to be, because if
No.
I'm telling you that I identify as a woman,
I'm saying okay to that.
You cannot expect me to compete with men.
But you were born a man.
Doesn't matter.
It does.
No, it doesn't. Not in today's society. It does
because if it doesn't matter, then this conversation is mute anyway. Because if it doesn't matter, that means you're a woman, so you can compete with the women.
No.
If I'm accepting you as a
woman, though, you taking the transgender part out? Transgendered woman.
But see, what I'm saying is transgender doesn't change your biology.
I understand that, but that also doesn't mean
that doesn't change your biology. That means you are still a male at that point. That's what you need to compete with.
No.
I'm not saying you can't come out here after you go in there and get your ass whooped or something, or you beat up on you. You come out and put your wig and stuff back on and put your stuff in your bra or whatever.
Nah. I think what you're doing, you're not accepting that lifestyle. You're not. And you don't have to. Like, you don't have to. That's your right? But I think if we talking about it and we being subjective, then you have to say that the best case scenario would be to allow transgenders to have their own, as opposed to putting them somewhere where they're not comfortable and putting them somewhere where you're not comfortable.
I understand that. And don't get me wrong. My solution when I was talking to people in the street all this week was for them to have their own little thing like the Special Olympics. That was one of my solutions. I'm just saying at a point whereas society has to stop being so overbearing on how people think and trying to train every person on the thought process, you know what I'm saying, of how you should accept this or what you can and what you can't say and things of that nature. And I think if you come out and just say, okay, that's what now, in order to appease transgenders, we are going to give them their own sporting events. Like, so, and that's in everything you would have to do.
But I mean, like, how did, I don't want to compare this, and I hate to say this, but I can go back to what Linnell said. Like, how did we even get integrated into sports? We had our own first.
But how is that going to integrate them into anything?
That's what I'm saying.
This is not even about integrating. This is really about, you know what I'm saying?
What I'm saying is, at the inception of us not being accepted into mainstream sports, or for lack of a better term, white people's arena, we had to create our own. I don't see the problem with them having their own. Okay, if we go away from, if the conversation is equality, right? We've already said that there is no equality. We know that.
Correct.
But wait, real quick, Nano talking about what about the homosexuals? You don't think it's homosexual people that play football or basketball, you know what I'm saying, that still identify as who they are?
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, they still gonna play what they playing.
They still identify as men or women, you know what I mean? There's a ton of homosexual women in the WNBA. I bet you it's a ton of homosexual guys in the NBA. It's quite a few in the NFL. But they still identify as men and women. I think the difference is the fact that with transgender, they don't identify as what they were biologically born as.
Right. But anyway, I'm sorry for cutting you off.
I lost my train of thought.
I was sitting here thinking, I said, he's young. He's going to remember.
You're trying to convince me that the transgenders need their own sporting events because we used to have our own. That's how we integrated in.
Nah, and I don't like the way you said that because that's not what I was.
But you were saying something about how he was trying to make it.
He?
Male, Vel. Because you were talking about how before we had to create our own because we wasn't accepted, and there's nothing wrong with. And then you said, and you keep saying, so
it's because you was talking about, you keep leaning back on the equality portion of it, and you keep saying, if we gonna say equality, I was saying that we've already come to the conclusion that there is no equality, right?
Correct.
we're looking for fairness, right? And
Mhm.
fairness would be to not have them somewhere where they're not comfortable and not have them somewhere where you're not comfortable with them.
Okay. You mean when you're saying you're talking about society on the whole, and
Society, not you,
specifically.
right? Not
Right.
specifically.
Not,
No. I mean,
I
because
agree.
the world is outraged that this man beat these women, right? Or
Yes.
this transgender. Is he transgender woman or transgender man? I don't know. I
He's
apologize.
a man that's he's a man that's a woman now. Ugly
That
woman.
he was competing with these women, right?
Yes.
So no, not you specifically, but the world, right? Because as you said, right, everybody is okay with him identifying as a woman until he has to compete with women. If we're gonna call it fair, then we just have to say that, you know, if anybody that's in that lifestyle, they would have their own sector of whatever uh, competition, and allow them to compete against each other, and that way it would still be fair because you still be matched up with what you were biologically born as opposed to you being uncomfortable competing with men if you were born a man and you don't feel comfortable, or vice versa if you were born a woman and don't feel comfortable competing with men.
I
And
think
also
that's
not
I think
having.
that's a good solution, but I don't think there are enough athletes who are transgender to support leagues of their own.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. I can
And
definitely.
I think that would be the issue with that solution. I mean, there are not enough athletes to support a league of their own, and I think that's the reason that they're competing how they are now.
I think honestly, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but to me it just sounds like a shortcut, right? Like if I
Yeah.
couldn't hack it with the guys, like why not? I know I'm stronger than some of these ladies. I'm faster than them. Why not? That's an easy way to get a medal or whatever it was he was trying to accomplish. She was trying to accomplish. I just feel like it was a shortcut, and honestly, I feel like it's kind of shameful, really, because I don't think it's at this point. Like I don't think it's about you being a transgender. I just think that was something deep inside where you knew you couldn't compete with, you couldn't compete in the field you were in before, and now it's like I'm gonna go beat up on the kids, and then not. I don't want to liken women to kids, so.
but
Nah,
I get it. Yeah.
Bag off league of their own. Ain't nobody talked about league of their own. The Negro League is not about league of their own. League of their own is about women.
Women, yeah.
Tom Hanks and what's that girl name?
I forget her name.
The redhead and Madonna. Rosie O'Donnell.
Never saw it.
Well, you never seen the League of Their Own? It's a good movie. It's a real good movie.
It's about women empowerment.
I'm surprised. Not you. You ain't seen that?
I haven't seen. I
Gina
haven't
Davis,
seen
that's
the
her
whole
name, Nicole.
movie of what's that movie with the pinky toe getting shot off?
Harlem Nights.
Harlem Nights.
I haven't seen that whole movie. I saw bits and pieces of it.
Disgrace. It's a
Disgrace. Disgraceful. The pitifulness of yourself. Jeez.
You gonna tell me you never seen Friday?
The
Look,
first
I
one.
said that on purpose. Look. The pitifulness of yourself.
I seen it. I seen it. It's just not in my top 5. I'm not out there. Shaka, you ain't seen Friday? Jeez, we finna get off here, y'all. We finna go.
Yeah, we gotta get out of here.
The very first one, I don't think I seen it all the way through.
I'm disappointed in my people.
It's a lot of movies I haven't seen.
Nicole, have you seen Friday?
If she say yes, Nicole, you out of here.
Yeah, Friday.
She coming from a job.
We need to get some diversity in here anyway. We ain't got to change the name, you know what I'm saying?
Kill 2 birds with one stone, white and woman.
There you go.
And keep the same name.
Same name.
Same name.
Don't got to change the screen name.
There we go. There we go. All right. Before we leave, y'all, next week, I think we have our guest scheduled to talk about mental health in Black men, correct?
Correct the mundo.
DCI token. There we go. I think you and Joe been talking to each other. Y'all been kind
Where
of
the hell is Joe?
double dutching days. You know, Joe told us he hate Wednesdays. Wednesdays kind of rough for him.
Nah, man. Well, we need Joe. He was.
This would have been a good topic for him.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Joe don't like the heavy topics. He like to talk about food and stuff like that.
Oh.
Yeah. He want to keep it nice and light and air. Up, bam. Y'all bring him up. There you go.
Rolling in the weeds.
You rang.
You rang. There we go. See, we trying to get up out of here. Joe, come in and say hello. No, we can't just leave. Hey, Joe, what's going on? There you go. Right there. Nicole Joseph. He's very white. You see his name, Baranski. That ain't white. I don't know what it is. Nicole, your name ain't white, Nicole. I think you just put an extra. If I didn't know you, I would say you just took a random picture and threw it on there. Nicole Freeman. That sounds like some.
That do sound like a black man, that black person name.
Yes, he's clear. Yes, Joe is Santa Claus. So, Joe is 100% true. Nah, Joe's scared of Nicole, so he don't be saying nothing. Nicole is very cool.
You said Joe 100% truth. Now, Jay is Joe's favorite.
Yeah, he made that clear.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of, Nicole made it extremely clear earlier that she doesn't like the fact that y'all like me. So
it was not that. I was just saying.
She definitely didn't see Sandlot, Joe. She
never heard of it.
See,
what?
Definitely.
What is Sandlot? Is that a baseball movie?
You're killing me, Smalls.
Is that a baseball movie?
Yes.
I think I heard of it, but it didn't like pique my interest to say, hey, I want to see that.
What?
See, what y'all got to realize is
forever.
Nicole stayed in her room listening to music while we had family time. She wasn't really invited into some of that because we were trying to make her get her music career off the ground. So we made sure she stayed in there practicing all the time. No, she didn't see holes. Y'all ain't finna be jumping on my sister without a
Thank
she
you.
ain't seen.
What is holes?
That's Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, you heard of it? Oh,
Y'all seen it. You know. So as we were saying, movie night at the shop next month. For sure, we can do that once a month.
At the shop.
I'll tell you when we get off.
Okay.
So now, as we were saying, next week we do have our guests lined up, so we will be doing mental health and Black men next month. That will be the topic. We will have. Or what's our guest's name? What's his name?
Jamie.
Jamie. He is a psychiatrist, or he has.
We'll get the information out to y'all this week.
Okay. Excuse me. No. We'll have it about that. And so other than that, we want to thank everybody for coming out. Thank y'all for y'all conversation.
Thanks 100% true.
You
a real one.
He left when you didn't answer his question. You know, he said
what was the question?
The first question was whether you married, and then the second question was that he wasn't paying attention to the topic anymore. He was just looking at Nicole.
Oh, I missed those.
Oh, we saying he. It might be a they or them.
I missed those questions.
The comments, yeah, they were up there. Let me see how the back. Let me get you. Y'all can go and say bye to the people. Let me find that for Nicole so she can see it. So she don't think I'm making it up. Bam. Hold on, I got one more for you. Bam.
It's Nicole. So he didn't ask me that. He was asking y'all. He said it's Nicole married. So he wasn't asking me.
But you're being offensive by saying he. We don't know what they identify as. So they said this, or them.
Oh, bad Jay. Joe, go ahead on with that.
You ain't see the team, Jay? You ain't see the team, Jay?
Yeah, I saw that mess. If you don't get your own, no.
I'm gonna give you somebody on my team over here too. Watch. I'm gonna give you somebody who like me. Thanks to everybody for coming to hang out with us. We're here next week, 7:30. But like we say, check us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification button. Anything else, fellas? Ladies?
Ladies? It's only one lady out here.
It just came out because I know I had said fellas, she was there, so I was trying to get that right.
Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Share. Like, we please share.
Okay.
Come back next
He
week.
could be non-binary. That is correct, Shaka. So with that, we appreciate everybody as always, and we should see everybody next week.